Good morning, 7th standard. We have started exercise 4.1. We've done first two questions. Now let us do question number 3. Third question of the exercise is solve the following equations by trial and error method. Now there are different methods to solve an equation. This is one of the few methods. I will discuss those methods one by one with you later on. As for now, let's take up this method, trial and error. Trial and error method means you find the answer by trying the values. So trial and error. So what we do, we will try that the answer of this equation. The answer of this equation means the value of the variable which satisfies this equation. So if we want to solve this equation, we want to find the value of p. And if we want to find the value of p using trial and error, what I will do is I will try for different values. I will try maybe p is 1, maybe p is 2, maybe p is 3. So I'm going to try different values. If I get an error, I try the next value. So I keep doing that till there is no more error. And if there is no error, that means the answer that I chose was correct. So that's why this method is known as trial and error. Try till there is no error. So I'll show you one part how to do it. To solve this equation, I have to find out the value of p, and I'm going to use trial and error method. So what I will do is I'm going to assume the answer. I'm going to try. It's like guessing. So I'm going to guess what could be the answer of p. So let p equals to 1. You could try any number. I'm trying 1. Then what I will do after this, so this is step 1. Assume or guess an answer for p. So this is step number 1, where you guess an answer for p. Then step number 2 is to check whether your answer is correct or not. I'm going to write down for you. You don't have to write this in exam. So the first step is guess a value for p. Then next step will be check if the guessed value is correct or not. And how do we check? Like we did question number 2. So in question number 2, we have to separate the two sides, use the value and see if LHS is equal to RHS. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to separate left hand side and right hand side. So left hand side is 5p plus 2. The right hand side is 17. I will use this value over here. Use p equals to 1. So it becomes 5 into 1 plus 2. So this is 5 plus 2. This is 7. On the right side I have 17. Are the two answers equal? So the answers are not equal. That means p equals to 1 is not the solution. So what I do, I try another value. This was step 3, where I compare, and then this is my answer, that the value that I guessed is not correct. Now, since the guessed value is not correct, I'm going to try another value. So what I will do is, I'm going to let again. So I will do all these steps again because this value did not work. So I'm going to try another value. You could skip or you could go by the next value because I had taken 1. The next value that I'm taking is p equals to 2. So let p equals to 2. If you want, you can skip. You can take 3, you can take 4, you can take 5. You can jump to the answer directly. So I'm taking p equals to 2. So now I have to check whether this is correct or not. So for that, I'm going to separate the two sides again. So 5p plus 2, use p equals to 2. So this will be 5 into 2 plus 2. This is 10 plus 2. This becomes 12. On this side I had 17. Are the two answers equal? Is my left hand side equal to right hand side? No. LHS is not equal to RHS. So this means P equals to 2 is not the solution. I tried one value, it was wrong. I tried another value, this is also wrong. I'm going to try another value now. Third value that I'm trying is p equals to 3. I'm going to see if this works. So to check whether this is correct or not, I'm going to separate the two sides. LHS is 5 plus 2 and the right hand side is 17. Use the value that I have guessed. 5 into 3. P is replaced by 3. Simplifying. This is 17. Now I get the same answer on both sides. LHS is equal to RHS. So my answer will be P equals to 3 is the solution of given equation. So I had to guess 3 values to reach my answer. What you can do, if you can look at the equation and guess the answer, you can directly start by that value. So in this question, if you had looked at this equation 5p plus 2 equals to 17, if you could guess the answer before doing these, if you had guessed the answer directly that the value of p is 3, you could have only done this. So what you need to do is you need to take the value yourself, because the value is not given. You will write it down that we are letting p as 3. The value that you are thinking is the possible answer. So you will write that down. Then you will show that your guessed value is correct or not. If it is correct, you tell by writing that this is the solution. If your guessed value is wrong, like in the first two parts, where I took p as 1 and p as 2, my answer was wrong. So what I will do, I will keep on trying more and more values until I get the right answer. This is the second part of question number 3. 3m minus 14 equals to 4. Now again I have to solve it by trial and error. So I'll try a value and see if it is right or not. What I can do is I can directly guess any value. It's not necessary that you have to start with 1. It's not important. You can start from 5 also. So here I'm going to start with 5. So let m equals to 5. This is my first guess, first try. LHS, RHS separate. LHS is 3m minus 14. Right hand side is 4. Now use the guessed value. M equals to 5 here. So 3 multiplied with 5 minus 14. This is 15 minus 14. Answer is 1. Now are my two sides having equal value? No. That means this value is not right. I guessed wrong. I have to guess again. So I am going to write that this is not the solution. I will try again. Now I'm going to try with 6. Let's solve. I have to check whether this is correct or not. I will do that by separating the two sides. LHS is 3m minus 14. RHS is 4. So using m equals to 6, This will be 3 into 6 minus 14. This is 18 minus 14. This is 4. Now my both sides have same value. LHS and RHS, they have become equal. So that means this time I guessed the right answer. So I'm going to give my answer. M equals to 6 is the solution of given equation. And this is how you use trial and error method. Next question of the exercise is question number 4. You have to write down the equations for the following statements. So you have been given some statements in English. You have to write them in mathematical form. So you will be using the signs of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and you will express this statement given in English in mathematical form. Remember a few rules. When we write multiplication, there is no sign between the number and the variable. When we are writing addition, order can be changed. When we are writing down subtraction and division, the order cannot be changed. So you have to read the statement very carefully when it is subtraction or it is division. Division is shown by fraction. Now all these rules we learned in algebra last year. So let us write down. First part, the sum of numbers x and 4 is 9. So if you write this sum means addition, you have to write the addition of these two numbers. The answer is 9. So the addition of these two will be written by putting a plus sign between them, and the answer will be written after equality sign. So this is how we are going to write down sum of these two numbers. To write the sum, we have to put plus sign between these two. The answer is 9. So answer will be written by putting equality sign. This is your equation. Second part, 2 subtracted from y is 8. Now we have subtraction. The order is important. And every time you have subtraction from a number, so this value goes in the beginning and this goes afterwards. So order changes. Whenever you have subtract from, the order changes. That means this is the number, this will be written first and this will be written afterwards. So y at the first place, 2 at the second place. Subtraction will be shown by minus sign, and is 8. The answer is 8, so this will be written by equality sign, equals to 8. So this is subtraction of 2 from y and you get 8 as your answer. Third part, 10 times a is 70. So 10 times a, this is multiplication. 10 times a means 10 multiplied with a. So 10 multiplied by a is 70. This can be simply written as 10a equals to 70. The sign of multiplication can be omitted. We learned this last year. Fourth part, the number b divided by 5 gives 6. So if I had to simply write this, b sign of division by 5 gives 6. So 6 is my answer. This will be written after the equality sign. Now what I have to do is I have to put this division in the form of a fraction. So b over 5 equals to 6. And this is the preferred way we are going to write down. Not like this, like this. This will be your answer. Same way in multiplication you have to write this way. Next one, 3/4 of t is 15. So 3/4 is a fraction. This is a fraction. This is 3 by 4. And of represents multiplication. So I have 3 by 4 multiplied by t equals to, the answer is 15. And what we know is the sign of multiplication can be deleted. So this can be written as 3 by 4 t. No sign of multiplication. This can be written 3 by 4 t. I have deleted the sign of multiplication, and equals to 15 right hand side as such. Sixth part. 7 times m plus 7 gets you 77. So times again means multiply. So 7 multiply with m. So this will be 7 multiplied with m. Then you have to plus 7. Plus 7 means add 7. The answer is 77. 7 times m plus 7 gives you 77. And what we can do, we can delete the sign of multiplication. So this will be 7m plus 7 equals to 77. Seventh part. 1/4 of a number x minus 4 gives 4. Again we have a fraction, just like in this part. 3/4 is 3 by 4. So 1/4 will be 1 by 4. 1 by 4 of a number. So of again represents multiplication. Multiplication with x. The number has been named as x. Then minus 4. Minus 4 means a subtraction of 4 gives 4. So this will be 1 by 4 into. The number is x. 1/4 of x minus 4 equals to 4. Deleting the sign of multiplication, this will be 1 by 4x minus 4 equals to 4. Eighth part. If you take away 6 from 6 times y, you get 60. So if you have to take away 6, this means subtract 6. And the subtraction has to be done from this. So if you remember, when we have subtraction, this is subtraction. And when we have subtract from, this thing will go in the beginning. So this will be written first and 6 will be written after minus sign. So this comes here and this goes here. This is how you have to write down. So 6 times y. 6 times y means 6 multiplied by y. Then you have to take away 6, means you have to subtract 6. And then the answer will be 60. So every time you have from, subtract from, you change the order. This will be in the beginning, this goes at the second place. Now we can omit the sign of multiplication. So we can write this as 6y minus 6 equals to 60. The last part of the question is, if you add 3 to 1/3 of z, you get 30. So now you have to add 3. So this will be plus 3. And you have to plus 3 to this 1/3 of z. So 1/3 means 1 by 3 of z into z. Then add 3. And the answer that we get is 30. So I have plus 3. I've added 3 to 1/3 of z. 1/3 is a fraction. 1 by 3 of means multiplication with z. So 1 by 3 multiplied by z. And we have to add 3. The answer comes out to be, as given in question, 30. Now we can delete the sign of multiplication. We can write it as 1 by 3 z plus 3 equals to 30. The next question that we have is question number 5. Write the following equations in statement form. Now this is the opposite of question number 4. In question number 4, you were given a statement in English. You had to write that statement in mathematical form. Now you have been given a statement in mathematical form and you have to write this statement in English form. So you can write it in several ways. Just make sure that you are able to express what is given in the question correctly, especially in case of division and subtraction. And when there are multiple operations, then also you need to be careful. So first part we have p plus 4 equals to 15. Now there are several ways to write this down. I'm going to show you a few. You can pick any one. So the easiest way to write this is number p plus 4 gives 15. So just I would read it. The way I would read it, I have written it exactly the same way. So p plus 4 gives 15. Or how could you write down? Sum of the number p and 4, because these two have been added. This means we have written sum of these two. And the answer is 15. Now there is another way you could write this down. You could also write if you add 4 to number p. So we have plus 4. We have added 4 to p. So this is what I have written. If you add 4 to the number p, what do you get? You get 15. So I have shown you 3 ways. You can pick any one. You can write down this in the simplest way, or you could write it in any of these 2 ways as well. Second part, we have m minus 7 equals to 3. So how to write this in English? So I can write down number m minus 7 gives 3. This is one way. Or 7 subtracted from m gives 3. Now you can check, I have written 7 subtracted from m. If I had to write it in mathematical form, because it's subtraction from, m will come here, 7 will go later. So m at the first place, 7 at the second place, and between them there will be minus sign, just like given here, and the answer is 3. Third part, we have 2m equals to 7. 2m, there is no sign. No sign between the numbers means here between 2 and m you cannot see what's happening here. No plus, no minus. So this means multiplication. So how can you write this? Again, just like addition and subtraction, this can be written in different ways. So I'm going to show you a few. You can write this as 2 multiplied with number m gives 7. This is one way. Or you can also write it as product. Product means the answer of multiplication. The product of 2 and m is 7. Then there is another way to write this. Or 2 times m. When we use the word times, this also means multiplication. So 2 times m gives 7. Fourth part, we have m over 5 equals to 3. So when we have a fraction, this means it is division. So how we will write? M divided by 5 gives me 3. So m divided by 5 equals or gives 3. Remember, you have to write in words. Don't use signs. I did that by mistake. You always have to remember the numerator will be written first. Then you will write the denominator. This is the numerator. First you will write the numerator divided by. This will be your denominator. So this is what you need to keep in mind for division. In fifth part, we have 3m over 5 equals to 6. Now here we have two things happening. Over here we have multiplication, because 3 and m, they don't have any sign between them. So here it is multiplication. But because of this fraction, we have division. So two things are happening at the same time. So how do we write this? I'm going to write down the division, but I will also use multiplication. So this will be kind of a complex sentence. You could describe it completely, or you could write in short. So I will show you how to write in detail or write it in short. So first I'm going to write in detail. So number m is multiplied by 3. So I have described this 3m. Number m is multiplied by 3, or 3 is multiplied by m. Multiplication, the order can be changed. So you could write down 3 is multiplied by the number m. And the product. Now product is the answer of multiplication. So when you multiply m and 3, it will be 3m. And the product 3m is divided by, then we have over 5. So that is divided by 5. We get 6. So I can write it this way. If number m is multiplied by 3 and the product is divided by 5, we get 6. Now if I had to write this in compact form, then how would I write down? I can write it this way. 3 times m. So number m multiplied by 3. In short, 3m can be written as 3 times m divided by 5 gives 6. So this is explaining in detail, this is writing in short. Sixth part, 3p plus 4 equals to 25. Now before you write down your answer, identify the operations that you can see. What I can see is, I can see multiplication here. 3 and p, they are multiplied, and then this is addition. So now I have to describe this. I have to explain this in English. So how can I write? I can write in detail or I can write in short. So whichever way suits you, just go ahead. Remember, in multiplication and addition, the order can be changed, but you cannot do so in subtraction or division. So I'm going to write, if 3 is multiplied with p. So this is the first part. 3 is multiplied with p. And what else is done? Then 4 is added to the product. So when you multiply 3 with p, it becomes 3p. To 3p, we add 4. What happens? Then we get 25. The value on the right of equals to. Now I have explained in detail. Let's write the same in short form. So I'm going to write it exactly this way. 3 times m divided by 5 gives 6. How would I write this? I will write this as 3 times p addition of 4. So I will write down plus 4. Then I have to write this in English, equals to 25. So gives 25. 3p written as 3 times p, addition of 4 written as plus 4, equal to 25 written as gives 25. Seventh part, we have 4p minus 2 equals to 18. Again, if you want, you can write this in detail or you can write it in short. I will show you both so that you understand, but in exam, you have to write down only one way. So I'm going to first of all write this in detail. So if 4 is multiplied by p, because 4 and p, there is no sign between them. This is multiplication. 4 is multiplied by p, and then after that 2 is subtracted. And you have to tell 2 has been subtracted from what? 2 has been subtracted from this. This is the product. So 2 is subtracted from the product. What is the answer? Then we get the value on right hand side, which is 18. Now writing it in short, 4 multiplied by p can be written as 4 times p. Subtraction of 2 can be written as minus 2, and then equals to 18 gives 18. Last part of the question, p by 2 plus 2 is equal to 8. Now this is division and this is addition. I have to describe and explain in English. So how will I write down? I can write when p is divided by 2 and the answer is increased by 2, we get 8. Or if I add 2, the division of p by 2, I get 8. Or since p is divided by 2, I can also say that p is halved. So that would mean this is half of p. p divided by 2 is half of p. Half of p plus 2 is 8. So there are several ways. So first of all, I'll write in detail and then I'll write in short. If p is divided by 2 and then 2 is added to the answer, we get 8. You can also use the word result here. So when you divide p by 2, the result of this division, we add 2 to this result and we obtain 8. Now if I had to write this in short, I could write it this way. Half of p. Half of p means p divided by 2. Plus 2 gives 8.